Green flag in Atlanta. Michael McDowell leads them to turn one. It's the Kyle and Kyle show on the inside.
Big run coming on the outside. Todd Gilliland pushing McDowell. Already Busch up for a block.
Michael McDowell swings to the bottom, but Kyle Busch moved up because he knows that that middle lane is going to be the preferred lane. As these things get strung out, you're going to want to be in the middle lane, so you better get off the bottom as quick as you can.
Well, why is that? A little bit more banking. You get trapped on the bottom like you said.
Trouble! One car slides to the infield, Austin Dillon, and they pile up behind him.
That's 2 weeks in a row early out for Austin Dillon. I don't know how much damage he has, but there's a bunch of them, folks. You got Gregson in this, Bell. There's a right rear. I think Austin may get away with just that tire damage.
Just let us know what we got to work on. Solid right front.
Yeah, and Clint, as we go back and look at this, you're going to see them all stack up really, really bad in the middle of the straightaway, but there is a ton of cars that have damage. What happened was Todd Gilliland trying to make a hole for Michael McDowell to get up in that preferred lane in the middle, stack that whole lineup really hard.
Those guys had nowhere to go, didn't see it, landed right in their lap.
What a mess. Watch Todd Gilliland, the 38 car right here. He's going to check up to try to make a hole for Michael McDowell, and it checks up this whole line. And all of a sudden, that accordion just gets deep.
Denny Hamlin just missed the three. Well, folks, you just saw the biggest pileup in the history of Atlanta Motor Speedway. 16 cars involved. And it looks like all but Josh Williams are able to continue, and all those crashed cars have to go to tail end of the longest line. That's why it's a short line on the bottom. That's how few got to choose. We're back under green. Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson. Did I say clean and green? I spoke too soon. Lap 25, Chris Buescher, turn number 4.
Well, this is just a lack of grip, and when you look at everything that happens right here, there's nothing that happens. He just flat out loses it, and you'll have that right front fender offset to the car in front of him, and he's already loose, and this corner is notorious for just losing grip like that. And with that right front fender staggered from the car in front of him, it just stepped out on him.
And he's got the nose of that car in the wind.
Denny Hamlin
around
now
goes Hamlin. Sliding down toward the apron in turn number 1, and caution is out. Hamlin was in 6th place.
Hamlin was up in that lead pack, and see him trying to fire it back up, the extra fuel in the pipes.
AMR safety team there quickly to Hamlin's aid.
Oh, boys. He's not going to be happy with this one.
And he'll get away just before the safety car comes out. Well, what happened here?
Well, you can see him and Kyle Busch on the bottom. Kyle comes up, gets into his left rear corner, and turns him around.
Yeah, and that would look like the classic case of two, got one going up, one coming down.
Blaney outside of McDowell. Hold your breath.
Big gap on that outside. See him locked together on the bottom.
3 wide. Is that Reddick moving up? And Gilliland and Logano on the bottom, trying to steal some points here. Michael McDowell started from pole. Here he comes to the end of stage 1. He gets the green and white checkered flag.
Green and white, go till I tell you.
Blaney, Chastain, Larson, and Busch, the top 5. Stage 2, under green.
Boy, you described that scenario so much better from up here. I've heard your radio before.
Todd Gilliland inside of Joey Logano.
It's problematic.
Oh, crash. William Byron and Michael McDowell have crashed on the apron.
Get back going if you can.
Well, let's see what happens here. Michael McDowell and William Byron slowing for pit road behind Kyle Larson. And McDowell locks him up.
Rear tire. You saw the smoke come out of the rear tires right there, and that thing started sliding, and he just lost control of his car and hit William Byron.
Once again, no caution flag. If you drive below the double line to improve your position, you will get a penalty.
He certainly got rammed.
Oh!
Reckon.
No, Logano. Buescher, Hamlin pile up on the last lap of stage 2.
Yeah, and as we see Joey Logano on the bottom here, you're going to see him come up the racetrack, and as these cars get close, both of them are going to get tight. You see the flames come out of the pipe of Joey Logano's car, and those cars are almost stuck together. They aren't stuck together, but from an aero standpoint, they are stuck together and just want to go straight.
Well, the air off the 22 changing direction there is why the 17 got tight, right? He goes up. It was pretty obvious to me that he was trying to fill that gap, slow the block, slow the run by Buescher. And as soon as he moved, not only did he get tight, Buescher did as well.
This is the most laps Front Row Motorsports has ever led in a race, 60 and counting as we go back to green.
Off in front of 6.
I can't believe we're looking at Chase Elliott running up front of this car. That car has a lot of damage to the left front. It is completely drug off, dragging on the racetrack, and he somehow, some way keeps putting it in position. Starting to see Gilliland falling off a little bit, maybe some handling woes.
Oh, big spinner down to the apron, up toward traffic. It is Chase Elliott.
Did a good job keeping that car down.
Caution.
The throttle. Caution is out.
You're rolling if you can.
Didn't overcorrect that car. That could have been bad for a lot of race teams.
Have a look here.
You see Chase Elliott 3 wide. Chastain gets to his bumper, getting into the corner, got into him, turns him around.
Yeah, and that's right in that vulnerable spot of the bumps and where you're trying to let off the throttle. So hard to tell exactly what happened there. Obviously, the one car is in the back of him, but did Chase lift?
Well, for one thing,
here we go.
Chastain and Bubba Wallace are racing for the free pass position.
Yeah, and you see the one car really hard into the back of the
Chase
of the
was
9
in a
car
bad
there.
spot. I think you nailed it.
Green flag, 55 to go. Michael McDowell did not stop on that caution, the only driver that did not. Let's try 4 wide.
4 wide.
Yes.
For the lead, getting into 1. Look out. Cindric clear. Woohoo! Still 4 wide. Kyle Busch on the bottom, coming with him.
What a move.
What a move by Kyle Busch.
Still 4 wide.
And I tell you what, folks, that is the craziest position that you can possibly be in, and these guys are not lifting. 4 wide around these corners at Atlanta Motor Speedway is not something that's easy to do. You see Martin Truex get loose.
Not a good lap for Martin Truex. To the lead, all the way back in the pack.
He got muscled up from both sides. Lap 220. The 5, 6, and 7. Larson, Keselowski, and LaJoie. Here are the cars that have not been in a crash today.
This has just been a wild race, and it's just it's everything that we talked about. So let's take a look and see what happened here at the last caution. You're going to see the 6 right there of Brad Keselowski. He's going to go in the corner here, and he's going to get loose, and the 5 and 7 just had nowhere to go and couldn't check up fast enough and wound up just getting involved as well. See him go in right there, go up the racetrack, get a little bit loose. The car gets away. 7 and 5 pile in.
5, 6, and 7.
And that's how close these cars to being on the edge are. You see Brad just wiggle a little bit, but every single corner is just like that for these drivers. You are making small corrections with the wheels lap after lap, and with all these cars and all this energy, you're doing everything that you can do. As we take a look from the back bumper of Brad Keselowski, you see him wiggle, start to slide. 5 and 7.
Off the nose of Denny Hamlin, who also was involved. Chase Briscoe. Larry, you missed it by a lap. I'm sorry, buddy.
Well, and that's exactly what we talked about, Clint. You know, Briscoe just kept putting his car in position after position, bad spot after bad spot, and finally it has bit him.
Well, the speed in his race car enabled him to do that. You know, I'm not putting that on him. It's the package, right? Denny Hamlin, he was a contender. That car was capable of getting the job done. Finally did him in.
There'll be 15 laps to go. Blaney brings them back to green with Suarez.
Haven't seen much of Suarez today. Haven't talked about him much, but he was right there. Don't forget, right there at the end of the 500 as well.
That hurt us in qualifying, but here we are at the end. We got cars together, Mike.
The 4 into the fence. And the 9 of Chase Elliott goes for a double spin there. Whoa, close call. Oh, it wasn't the last caution.
Well, they all got checked up. You see the toe link on the left rear is broke on the 4 car. Chase Elliott car is still rolling.
5 laps to go in the Ambetter Health 400. We're back to green.
Well, certainly a better jump on the inside for Suarez and Busch, but here comes the push on the outside, Truex. Blaney. They're locked up on the outside. I think they're going to prevail off the 2 going down the backstretch. Suarez moves for the block. Didn't get it, missed it. Here comes Blaney on the outside for the lead.
Now you see that top lane broke up and you see the bottom lane reconnect. Ryan Blaney back down to block, just as we talked about Ross Chastain last week. You got to pick your moments where you try to put yourself in front of the lane that you think is coming forward.
1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank.
It's all going to come down to getting into 3, I think. Here comes the energy. Here comes the support from the back, that 3rd row. Where does he block? Does he block high? Does he block low? Here it comes. Kyle Busch to the middle, shooting a gap. No help with Kyle Busch.
Oh, Suarez right alongside him. 3 wide. Off turn 4. Here they come to the flag. 3 abreast. Photo finish.
I think it's Blaney. Unbelievable. 3 wide finish. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Scoring.
Finish is under review.
Scoring has the margin between the first 3 cars at 0.00 seconds.
How awesome was that?
The race finish is under review.
How about that? Freeze frame, stop motion to the line. That's too close to call. Unbelievable.
I thought it was Blaney, but that picture right there, I think they all win. Unbelievable. That was awesome.
NASCAR is reviewing.
99, 12 in the 8. Race clear is the 99.
How about that? Daniel Suárez, the 32-year-old from Monterrey, Mexico, gets his 2nd Cup career win. His first one came last June at Sonoma.
This is a very popular win. Daniel Suárez, I said it last week in Daytona. He was in that picture at the end of that thing. Boy, was he here again at Atlanta.